And to start with, let's rock it with problem of the day. Today we have Cedric, and he's bowling 7 games. I would be worn out if I bowled 7 games. Cedric, good job. Maybe this is over a course of tournament or something like that. That's a lot of games going there. His scores, not bad. They're all triple digits. I would be hard-pressed to make triple digits on bowling nowadays. But let's take a look at this. We got, what, 149, 105, 140, 170, 180, 150, and 156. We are going to be looking for the mean and the median bowling scores of these. This kind of sounds like some things that Nate would ask us and such when he'd come in with a lot of these mean and median type problems. And this is where we are. But let's talk about bowling scores in the same way. Remember, numbers are not just means and medians, but this is an average. What's his average game? Where's his middle game? And we may have a few other things about these games. Notice he has a high of 180. Didn't have such a great day on 105 or a great game there, but let's see what happens when we put them all together. Now, what I'd like to do is something very different. By the way, what's our rule for the mean? The mean is simply we add together and divide by, in this case, there's 7 scores. So in this case, we're going to divide by 7. And of course, that median is what we're going to do. We're going to look for the middle score. Now, so many times we get those two words confused. This is the add and divide moment to get to the mean, or the average that we like to call it. The median is just what's in the middle. Do they have to be one and the same? Absolutely not. They might come out to be the same number. If they do, they got a special kind of situation. We call it a symmetric distribution, all right? Roughly symmetric here. But if not, well, you know what? We will have to decide what we do with them, all right? But they don't always have to be the same number for these two. I want to make sure everybody understands that. The mean and the median do not. But what happens if they aren't the same? You're going to have some sort of what we call skewed to the left or skewed to the right. We might see what happens if that happens here, all right? So anyway, what are we looking for? Mean and median. Let's do that. Everybody's tuned in to find that out. I'm going to take you to the graphing calculator right off the bat because I want us to do something a little different on this problem of the day. So if we can get over there, thank you. Notice I've got this crazy thing called list. You say, Ernie, where did that come from? Well, let me clear out and see if we go away. No, we don't go away, do we? Let's see. Maybe I'll go to something else. How about y equals? Now we'll graph. And nothing's there, we'll clear. And we're going to clear again. Those are all our numbers. We're going like, what are you doing, Ernie? I want to show you how to get to this thing called a list function, all right? So we find on this graphing calculator, we're going to find the numbers, the letters for STAT, call it stat, and we're going to edit. Now, that's where the lists come from. I want everybody to notice that. You say, well, what's great about that? Well, we can put a list of numbers in. But before we can put a list of numbers in, we're going to have to do some clearing. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, you see where the cursor is right there? I'm going to push it up and push it into L2. I don't want to delete the list, but I want to clear. And you say, well, it didn't go anywhere. Hit enter, and all of a sudden those numbers have disappeared. Isn't that grand? Let's cut over a little bit and go up, and we're going to do the same thing for list 1. We're going to clear and press enter. Now, you say, why did you do that, Ernie? Because I'm going to put all of Cedric's bowling scores right in this list. And we're going to be able to do some cool things with the numbers, all right? We all understand how to add with a calculator, just simply put a plus between them, that kind of thing. But the listing is a cool way of getting to do a few more, maybe complex calculations. By the way, we'll figure out the median in just a minute also. But let's put these numbers in. We've got 149, and I'm just going to go in the order that he got his scores in, and press enter. And now we'll put another one in there. I hope you're starting to say, wow, there's a lot of numbers going in there. Exactly. And this way you can store them also. They will stay there until you decide to clear them like I just did. Don't clear them yet. Get them in there. Those of you who don't have graphing calculators, you can add those on your regular calculator at home and you'll get at least the numbers. But I just want to show a few other things that we can have going on here because many of our high schoolers are using these and even a lot of our middle schoolers are using graphing calculators to help them out. I got a 150 and I have also 156. We want to go, wait a minute, back there just a tad. We'll delete that one off. And then we'll go down. We are ready to do the 156 and be finished on these. Notice it counts right there. It counts how many numbers you've got. So we got 7 numbers there. 156 was our 7th. If we were to move on down, we would have, there it is. So our next one would be an 8th one, but we're not going to enter because we only have 7 games. The games are correct: 149, 105, 140, 170, 180, 150, and 156. You say, well, Ernie, now what do we do? Well, we are going to go to Stat again. That little Stat button is where we deal with lists, graphs, all sorts of great things. It's a wonderful place to be. And we go back to this thing called Edit. We're finished editing. All right, editing means we added numbers to the list. We fixed input things of that sort. What we want to do is we want to do something with them. So let's move over to Calc, and all of a sudden you've got these crazy list of menus here. That's why Graphing Calculator is so much better than those other little things, because you got all these menus that tell you so many things you can do with these things. We want to go with one variable stats. That's what that, by the way, that's what that means right there. One of our stats is one variable. In other words, it's all about X, okay, or all about Y or something like that, but it's one variable. And you want to see what it does? I do too. So let's go ahead and press Enter. And it says we're going to use list 1. Well, that's lovely. That's where we put all our numbers, right? So we keep it there. Frequency of the list, that's fine. Let's go to Calculate and see what happens. By the way, it'll default to 1 for our frequency on the list if we don't have something there. Let's see what we get. All of a sudden, these crazy numbers. You say, whoa, Ernie, what are those things? One variable statistics. First of all, you've got this thing called X bar, which is the average. It's a mean. So, hey, we got 150, right? That sounds good. That sounds good. The summation, if we had added them all together and then divided by 7, was 1,050. There you go. And there is your average. Now, what's going to happen from here on down? We were looking for a median. Look at that. Right there is the median at 150. So it arranged the numbers in order from low to high, and it picked out 150. Now you say, what are those mins and Q1s? That's another day of Mathline specialized segments to discuss, but they're what we call the 5-number summary. You can make box plots out of those. You wonder what those SX, they're talking standard deviations. Those of you who are out there taking stats in high school or getting into those things in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, you're going like, wow, that's a lot of good things to do. And there's so many more this calculator can do. We can only do so much during one problem of the day. So our answers here, let's see. Let's go back to our notes here. And looked like from the calculator, we dealt there. We had 1,050 divided by 7. That gave us 150. That's the mean. This is for you, Nate. And then our middle, if we arrange these things in order, there's 105. Then we would go to 140. There's 149. And then there's 150. So there is your middle observation because it's the 4th observation. It's an odd number here. So 150 is also the median if you arrange those in order. So interesting. Yeah, that means it's a roughly symmetric distribution. That's another show in itself. But there's your problem of the day.